One of the great ladies of Hollywood and television is preparing to make a comeback, and she's never been more fetching. Cynthia Bowers catches up with the elusive and much-loved Lassie.
Almost 70 years since she made her debut in the pages of the Saturday Evening Post, it's time for Lassie to come home.
It's classic, and I kind of think of it like, you know, baseball, apple pie, and Lassie. I mean, that's America.
With a new movie and a new marketing campaign, it's time to see how the years have treated the world's most famous dog. Later on Sunday morning, a screen icon is ready for her close-up. Good dog.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Charles Osgood.
Generations of Americans, a collie like this one was the quintessential screen heroine. Strong, courageous, devoted. In her way, Lassie was the canine it girl. Now, like so many great stars, she's about to make a comeback, and producers are hoping that modern moviegoers will sit and stay. Cynthia Bowers has our Sunday profile.
It's a brand new telling of a story that's as old as the hills, the love of a dog for her family. A dog who will do anything to come back home. And come September, a new generation is poised to take this dog into their hearts. Yes, it's time to get out your hankies because Lassie is back.
It's Lassie! She's come home!
Is there anyone who can look at this face and not think Lassie? Well, maybe today's kids. In an era of action-packed, computer-animated children's movies, the very idea of Lassie seems downright old-fashioned. Do you remember watching Lassie growing up at all?
Well, I did, but then I wasn't really allowed to because I would cry and I wouldn't sleep.
But according to her biggest fans, it was Lassie who literally defined today's image of the modern family dog.
When you think back, before Lassie's time, before the 1940s, it wasn't very common to have your dog sharing your bed. You know, the dogs were in the backyard, they were in the doghouse, they were in the barn, they were working. Maybe they'd come into the laundry room or the kitchen, in the evening. But, the den, on the couch, in the bed with you, and Lassie was like the first dog that made it cool.
Veterinarian Jeff Werber has been traveling across the country with Lassie on a 5-month publicity blitz, promoting the film and a new line of Lassie products. Yet behind all the marketing, Werber says there's some real magic at work.
There is nothing like the relationship that we can have with our animals and our animals with us. And until you experience it, you can't even describe it. And what I'm hoping is that what this Lassie rebirth is going to do is let everybody see and experience and hopefully experience for themselves that amazing, wonderful bond.
The world first met Lassie in 1938 in the pages of the Saturday Evening Post. The short story, Lassie Come Home, was written by Eric Knight as a Christmas tale. Knight later expanded the work into a novel, drawing on his deep affection for his pet collie, Toots, and for the people of his native Yorkshire, England. The novel became a bestseller and soon inspired the classic 1943 film. A runaway hit for MGM, Lassie Come Home propelled its star into the big time, not to mention her 11-year-old castmate, Elizabeth Taylor.
She doesn't seem well, Grandfather.
The film was followed by 6 decades of sequels on the big and small screens, transporting Lassie from the Yorkshire moors to the California hills.
Lassie, I'm lost. Take me home.
Along the way, a formula evolved. Whenever her boy faces danger, Lassie is there to save the day. You may have heard the expression, "Timmy's in the well," shorthand for a typical Lassie dilemma. The storyline was even parodied in this recent ad for GE, featuring a computer-enhanced canine. But for the true Lassie loyalists, only the real dog will do.
To Lassie fans, it's not just a dog. to younger generations that are just starting out, it's a fictional character, it's a book, it's a movie, it's this beautiful dog on screen. To the people that have come to know and love Lassie over the years, the actual living dog is a treasure.
Joan Neidhart of Abingdon, Maryland, and Kathy Schmidt of Woodland Hills, California, are co-founders of Collywood, Lassie's fan club and website. Not only have they collected their share of Lassie memorabilia, each is the proud parent of her own rough-coated collies. And not just any collies, all are direct descendants of Pal, the original Lassie, who starred in the 1943 film. Today, another of Pal's descendants, Hey Hey, is the 9th generation to carry the official mantle of Lassie. We caught up with Hey Hey, a trained therapy dog, at a children's hospital in Columbus, Ohio.
I got to pet the world's most famous dogs.
Visits like these were the idea of Lassie's original trainer and owner, Rudd Weatherwax, patriarch of Hollywood's leading dog handling family.
There's your classic Lassie look.
His successor, Carol Riggins, is always on her toes when Lassie is out on public display.
We've never seen Lassie drunk or misbehaving or even pooping in public.
Yes, this would be true, because Lassie does not do that.
Lassie doesn't have bathroom habits.
has no bad habits at all.
And there's one other trait every Lassie has had in common. One of the worst-kept secrets in Hollywood. The role of the most famous female dog in the world has always been played by a male dog. Because male collies are bigger and maintain their heavy coat year-round, their size helps conceal the fact their co-stars grow bigger every TV season.
Well, of course, when we were working, Lassie was a female. I mean, a male playing a female, but, we always referred to him as her. But when we weren't working, I referred to him as a male. I mean, it didn't make any difference. It was just, it was just part of the acting, part of is what the script called for.
Between 1957 and 1964, John Provost played Timmy, the little boy with a knack for getting into trouble in all sorts of unusual ways. And, by the way, the one thing Timmy never did was fall down a well.
We'll help keep peace in the world. We'll help keep peace in the world.
If the plots were sometimes thin, there was no questioning their sincerity. And according to John Provost, that's what makes them timeless.
I do have one favorite episode, and it was actually a 3-parter that we did, and it was called The Odyssey.
Do you think Lassie will ever find her way home?
And it's where Lassie and I get separated, and we think that Lassie's gone and Lassie's never coming home. I'm burying all of Lassie's toys on a hillside, and then, of course, in the distance you hear the bark and Lassie comes over the hill. And even today, when I see that episode, I cry like everybody else. People always say, well, I always cried when I watched Lassie, but it was a good cry. And everything always worked out.
You just want to go home, don't you?
And that's just what the producers of the new Lassie movie are banking on. That adults who grew up on Lassie will bring a new audience of children into the fold.
So is it hard work being a movie star?
As for Lassie herself, or should we say himself, box office figures are beside the point. The chance to meet and greet thousands of fans has already provided this shaggy dog story with its own happy ending.